everybody, it's me, Ben, and don't be fooled. This is not a Pac-Man video. The rest of my room is dirty, and I don't want to film there in the Lego section, so we're in the Pac-Man section. But this is a Lego video, and I thought, if I want to, I can put something funny on the green screen. Today we're going to be talking about a very serious issue, and that is children's movies. So if you didn't know, last year the Lego movie franchise, actually it might have been longer than that ago, but the Lego movie franchise was purchased by Universal Studios because Warner Bros. Was sick and tired of losing money. And it's kind of weird because this is really a big deal, and up until now the whole Lego community has kind of just acted like that's not a big deal. And now only some people are. Most people still aren't even talking about this. So I wanted to talk about it because I kind of just can't stop thinking about it. So recently there was this thing called Pitchfest, and it was so people could pitch Lego themes or something and other stuff. And somebody pitched a movie, and the movie won. And so they're gonna pitch it to Universal, and it's about this girl, and she wants to get a birthday present or a Christmas present of something for her sister, and I think she's gonna go back in time. I can't remember, but I've been really thinking about that movie a lot recently, and I've been thinking I should say something about that. And what I want to say is, I don't know if it's that great of an idea. Not because it's a bad movie idea. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna see this movie. If it gets greenlit, I'm gonna see this movie. If you're a big Lego fan, you'll probably see this movie. Probably a lot of kids will see it. Maybe families will see it if it's a Christmas movie. But to be honest, in the long run, I don't see why this makes any sense for Universal to do. The Lego movies have proven time and time again to fail. I guess only 2 times, but the first time it was something super new, and the second time was Batman. Everybody's gonna pay to see Batman. And then on the third and fourth time, it was just, there had been so much, and people they didn't want to take the time to see it. And because they were just kind of greenlighting whatever happened. The Ninjago movie is not as bad as the Ninjago fans say. It's funny. It's pretty funny, but still, it's who was gonna really seriously go to theaters to see that? And then by the Lego Movie 2, people were just I'm not gonna support these guys anymore. I'm sick of seeing 2 Lego movies come out a year, because 2 movies came out in the same year. That's kind of crazy. And all these and 4 came out within 5 years. That is nuts. And that never happens with any kind of movies. Yeah, people were tired of it, and Universal got the rights. And don't tell me the first thing they're gonna do is make something that's just kind of a random Lego movie. Because that's why people stopped watching these, because they were just doing random stuff, and they were like, I don't want to go see a Lego movie every month, so I'm just not gonna keep supporting these. And if Universal wants to go beyond the Lego fans and children, because again, I will see this movie. If it gets greenlit, I'm gonna see it. You might see it. Kids are gonna see it. But other than the Lego fan community and kids, it's not gonna go that far. And if it fails, and then Universal is we do not want to have the Lego movies a franchise, that would suck, because we want Lego movies, and people will pay to see them if they have the right idea. And I just want, if Universal's watching this, hey Universal, if you're watching this, I just don't want them to take this opportunity to really have some fantastic movies and use it on something that is likely to not do well, and then be these movies don't do, and then be these movies do not do well, we don't want to keep making these movies, because that would not be a good idea. I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but I feel like you're setting up the Lego franchise to fail if you put out a movie that people other than Lego fans won't see, because you want the Lego movies to reach more people. That's what the Lego movie did. It reached a huge audience. It's like critically loved. It's loved by a lot of people. It's like, it's watched all the time. It's not just a kids movie, and it's not just a Lego fan movie. Lego Batman movie obviously is not, because I mean, it's got the DC fandom, and this thing keeps popping. I'm really sorry about that. Maybe, you know, it'll be Christmas time and people are more willing to see a movie at that time. So I don't know, maybe it could do super well, but I just think there's a lot of better stuff. And I actually have stuff right here that I want to talk about. Because Universal owns a lot of stuff. And yeah, I mean, everybody's talking about these. They've talked about these. But I'm going to talk about them more because, again, everybody's glancing over this. And Universal should know this is something Lego fans want. And that way, they won't just put out random stuff. I think we really need to show them what we want to see. Because the Warner Bros. Didn't really know what we wanted to see. They thought we might want to see, they thought they knew what Ninjago fans wanted, but they didn't. And so I think if we want to get Lego movies and to get some good ones, we should be clear about what we want. So, you know, you can comment and you can say, these are the movies I want. I'm going to talk about the movies I want and the movies I don't want. But like, make posts and stuff about it. I mean, we want these to happen. We do not want these movies to go down again. It was so sad that the Lego Movie 2, it was a fantastic movie. And Ninjago was a fantastic movie. And they did not deserve to go down. I want this franchise to go up, up, up. And so we need to say that we want this franchise to happen and want these movies to happen. So yeah, but I'm gonna talk about movies now. So this is supposed to be Vin Diesel, but I've never actually seen Fast and the Furious, so I probably shouldn't even be talking about this one. So Fast and the Furious is one that actually, like, Universal themselves has like shown that it's something they want to do. Like, they'd be like, hey, a Lego Fast and the Furious movie we'd be cool with. And I just want to say, no. No, you shouldn't do this. And I mean, again, I haven't seen the movies, so maybe I'm not the person who should be talking about this. But when I think of like Fast and the Furious, I don't think of like, I don't know how to explain this. But people go to see Fast and the Furious movies, not technically because of the franchise, they see them because it's just awesome random stuff. I think about how I think of Mission Impossible. I love the Mission Impossible movies, I love to watch them. I see them when they go to theaters, but it's not like I collect Mission Impossible stuff, or like would wear a Mission Impossible t-shirt. But I still think the movies are awesome. And I think that's how Fast and Furious is, because I went to Universal recently, and after I rode the Fast and Furious ride, which again, may not have been my best introduction to the franchise, but the gift shop just, like, they have the same Funko Pop with the same character over and over and over and over and over, and I was like, is this guy not selling? Bronco's barking at me? And I just think that Fast and the Furious, if you're wanting to sell the movie and the sets, that it won't sell the sets. And I mean, there is a Fast and the Furious set coming out, so maybe they're going to base it off of that. But like, even if the sets do well, like, I genuinely just can't see it. Because the draw of Fast and the Furious movies is to see the action and like the crazy stuff they do. But you're not going to be actually seeing that because it's animated. It'll be an animated film, and if it's not animated, it'll just be weird. And I just don't know why they will make it a Lego movie. Yeah, the movies sell well, but not as an animated kids movie. Because even if, like, I don't know if there's a ton of kids into this franchise. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think kids into the franchise also aren't going to be kids that want to see it animated. If a kid likes Fast and the Furious, they probably don't even like animated movies. They probably like live action crap and Vin Diesel and stuff. So like, why would they want to see a parody of Fast and Furious, especially if they're still pumping out movies? It's weird for them to like pump out whatever, Fast and Furious 9, Fast and Furious 10. Okay, here's a Lego animated parody, Fast and Furious 11. I just don't see how it would work. So the next one, I don't have a minifigure for, so I'm gonna have to find something. Here it is. It's Jaws. This is from the Jaws Lego set, obviously. So Jaws is the other one that Universal has been like, yeah, we kind of want to do this. This would be a good idea. And I mean, that's really the only thing they talked about. Is they talked about these two, Fast and Furious and Jaws, and then they're being pitched a new movie. I'm kind of uncertain. Maybe that movie is official. Maybe it's not. I think it needs to be greenlit, but I think it's a pitch, and these are both pitches. If I want one to go through, it will be Jaws. And again, I haven't even seen Jaws. So that's not being like that I don't want a Fast and Furious movie because I haven't seen Fast and Furious. I haven't seen Jaws, but I would like a Lego Jaws movie. I feel like the franchise is old. It's dead. Like, they're not doing anything with it. But it's still loved, and it still has a huge fan base. And it's just like instantly recognizable movie, Jaws, you know? And that is what you want for a Lego movie. You don't want this to be like trying to like make an animated version of something that's still going on that's known for not being animated. Jaws is an old movie and they don't have a way to reboot it unless they do a reboot. And I think people, to be honest, Jaws fans are probably would rather see a parody film than a reboot that's taking itself seriously and doing something weird with the franchise. I think this should be Universal's scapegoat. They have a lot of awesome franchises that are just like straight up dead. They're not doing anything with, and they don't know how to bring them back. Well, don't reboot them. That will make fans mad. But if you make a funny parody Lego movie, then you can do something that's really silly and really random without it feeling like, without a fan being hurt, because they're like, oh, it's just a fun Lego movie, and then they'll go buy all the sets because they love it. They don't even care that you ruin the franchise because it's a funny Lego movie. So please make a Jaws Lego movie. Please make a Jaws Lego movie. If you're gonna make one of these, Jaws is the one to do. But that's just out of the ones that they like, because I'm also going to talk about, I talked about the ones that they have pitches for, but now I'm going to talk about the one that I think is the best idea. Even if it's not my favorite idea, I think it's the best idea for Universal, and that's this guy. This is supposed to be Jurassic Park. But I don't have any of the park sets, and I stole this from Jude's room, and I should have just got the Chris Pratt minifigure instead, but instead I got this big old dinosaur. But, you know, Jurassic Park is freaking awesome. There's not a person in the world who doesn't like Jurassic Park. It's almost Universal's biggest franchise, and again, it is an old one. Obviously, it's being rebooted, and if I'm being honest, I am not huge into reboots, but the Jurassic World reboots are not bad. They're pretty good reboots. But we're about to get the third one. And after that, it's gonna be gone. And the Lego sets are gonna be gone. And the Lego sets sell like crazy. They're making up Lego Jurassic World sets, literally, like pulling them out of nowhere. Even if there's not a movie or a show, they are making sets. They make money. Kids love dinosaurs. So, the thing is that's weird is that kids love Jurassic Park and they love dinosaurs. But the original Jurassic Park, at least, I mean, not as much as the new ones. The new ones a little bit, especially the old ones, are really, like, violent and scary movies. Like, now they act like it's an action franchise, when really, originally, it was, like, a pretty scary movie. But, like, so, there's a lot of parents that will let their kids see Jurassic World, but not Park, because that's, like, got, like, killing people and death and stuff, but Jurassic Park is the one that Universal kind of wants to push a little more just because it's iconic. I mean, in the new movie, I think they're getting the whole cast of the original Jurassic Park. Even if they're making these new movies, they want to push the old ones on you, push the nostalgia. And this is a great way to do it. So this can be a Jurassic Park parody of the first movie. It can be really silly, and it doesn't have to be violent. It can replay the events, but it can be a little different. I think you could totally lean into like the theme park vibe. That's really kind of what the Lego sets have done. And have it be like this is an actual theme park with Lego roller coasters and all this stuff. And the dinosaurs are like chasing people. It could be a really silly, wacky version for kids who love dinosaurs but can't see the movie. And it can also appeal to fans, because fans of the original movie will watch this movie because they like Jurassic Park. Plus, I think the draw of dinosaurs is something that will pull in crowds. I mean, obviously Jurassic World movies have pulled in crowds. And I just think it's a great idea. Make an animated Jurassic World movie. I think you already probably want to do that anyways. And not World, make it Park. I keep saying World. but make parks. That way you can keep pushing Jurassic Park as a franchise while having your Jurassic World movies going. See what I'm doing here? Jurassic Park going, Jurassic World's going. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, right there. Okay, this is another great idea. It's, again, not my favorite idea, and I don't think it's as good an idea as the Jurassic Park. I think you should definitely do that if you're Universal. But that's these guys, and I don't really know, but these are supposed to be the Universal monsters. And I think Universal's probably already thought of that, if I'm being honest, because Universal, I mean, right now I'm going to assume they're not watching this video. The rest of the video, I've assumed they've been watching it, but they're crazy about their monsters. They push them like nuts. They, like, act like their monsters are, like, the best thing they've ever made, literally. Like, in the Universal parks, they don't have a thing that's over like 20 years old. They've gotten rid of everything Back to the Future. They've gotten rid of Ghostbusters stuff. They've gotten rid of Jaws stuff. They've gotten rid of everything, but they're about to build a Universal Monsters land, an entire land, after not even wanting to have a Ghostbusters show because it's too old. Do you hear that? They love these monsters, and I think the monsters could be super fun. Again, it's something that typically is aimed more towards adults, and you can bring that to kids. It could be a Halloween movie. That would be super fun. Universal doesn't really have a Halloween movie. They've got already a Christmas franchise, which is The Grinch, so why throw another Christmas franchise again when you could have a Halloween movie? I know Hotel Transylvania is going on right now, and that would be kind of similar to this. But I've never really met anybody who actually watches those. I don't know how they make 4 of those movies, because I don't even know a single person who watches them. But it could be really silly. It could be like a crossover. I think this would be the best crossover movie. Like, I'm imagining it being like, it's like all the monsters they created, and they're kind of just like wacky versions of the monsters. And they're scaring people, and I think it would be super cool if this was their crossover movie, where they were like scaring the Universal multiverse. So like Creature the Black Lagoon fights the characters from Jaws, and they're expecting a shark, and it's this creepy swamp guy. And I mean, I haven't seen either again, but that would be awesome. I mean, I haven't seen either, and I wanted to see that, so that's a good sign. Like, I think it would be just super cool to have these characters, have Marty McFly fight the werewolf, little Teen Wolf joke going on, that would be funny. But, have some cool, like, fights like that. I can't really think of any others off the top of my head. Probably should have planned a little bit more for that one. But, that could be the crossover movie, and it's like Dracula's trying to scare everybody. He wants everybody in the Universal multiverse to know that Dracula and the monsters are the scariest guys around. And probably it turns out like he comes to terms with himself that he doesn't have to be scary or something. That's a good kid's message. That's your Universal Monsters movie. Now we're going to talk about the one I want the most, the one I think will be a fantastic idea. And I still think it's about as good as these others that I just pitched. But I think it's the best idea. I think a lot of people are probably going to agree with me. So maybe this is the best idea, period. But it's pretty obvious. It's Back to the Future. This is my DeLorean. I built Marty's in there. Back to the Future movie. Literally, do I need to say anything? Just do it. This could be a crossover movie too. I could totally see the whole movie just being a bunch of 80s jokes. And it's like Marty McFly, and he's like, oh, yo, I live in the 80s. And I have my skateboard and my guitar, and he's hanging out in the 80s world, and there's all these other 80s guys. Universal owns, they own E.T., and they own Knight Rider, and they own a bunch of other 80s stuff. And Marty McFly, he's gonna be walking around, and he's like, I love being in the 80s. Hey, what's up, Knight Rider? What's up, E.T.? And he's just living his 80s dream. That would just be hilarious to have a bunch of 80s crossovers. And then he, goes across time and, can meet movie characters from other films, or I think it would be a great idea to kind of combine all 3 movies into one. And instead of really focusing, I think this again would be a more kiddie version, a more family friendly version, to where it's not necessarily as focused on the characters from his parents and stuff, even though I love that part of the original movie. I think this movie would do really well if it really just focused on Marty and Doc. And plus, Universal and everybody on the planet, not just Universal, every single person, you want it. You want it. You know what I'm about to say. Who should play Marty McFly? It's Tom Holland. Everybody on the planet wants him. I honestly, I said everybody on the planet, but I don't really mean that because I don't really see it. I think my hair has gotten worse throughout this video. But I don't really see it. I mean, Tom Holland always plays like dorky, awkward characters, and Marty McFly's main thing is that he's super confident. So I kind of can't see Tom Holland being this super confident guy. I think people really just want him because he's a teenager. And even though it's not my favorite choice, the internet would go crazy and they'd be like, oh my gosh, it's Tom Holland playing another white teenager. Yeah, that's exactly what I've always wanted. Tom Holland would be a white teenager. What a surprise. You know, get a super awesome actor to play Doc and just have it be a super fun movie. That could be your crossover movie. But yeah, I think that's all I want to say. I don't really know why I made this video. It's kind of random, but I just kind of wanted to because they revealed that the other day. And I was just kind of like, that's awesome, but I have some ideas myself. So Universal, if you're watching this, do one of these movies. You'll make money, I promise you, and probably more money than you will on the other. Again, I would really like to see that Christmas film, and I think a lot of people would. I think it honestly, if you want to do that film, you should make that film, and you should put it on Netflix. That would do really well on Netflix. People love watching Christmas movies together at home with their family, and a Lego Christmas movie, if it's on Netflix, every family's going to watch it. If it's in theaters, most people aren't. Most people are going to be like, oh, I don't want to pay for another theater Lego movie. But if it's on like Netflix or if it's on HBO Max or wherever Universal's putting their stuff, it's on both, I think. That people will do that. People will do that. If you want people to come to theaters over and over and over to see your movies, if you're wanting to make multiple movies, do one of these. I think again that Jurassic is your best bet, just because it's kind of where all your cards are right now. But really, I think any of these could work. I mean, obviously, if you take my ideas, if you take my idea on one of these, I don't really need credit. I just need you to make the Back to the Future movie. Because if you make like this one or you make the Monsters one, like, I don't care. Don't credit me. Just make me the Back to the Future movie. Even just send it to me. Just send it to me. Don't even put it in theaters. I just want to see it, okay? Deal. Alright, thank you, Universal, for watching. And everybody else who watched, I mean, I guess you're cool too. You're not Universal though, so sucks to be you. But yeah, I'm just gonna end the video now.